If you've got a PayPal Premier or business account that's verified, you can call PayPal and ask them to enable a feature called Mass Payments. Mass Payments allows you to upload a tab-delimited or comma-separated values file and send multiple payments at once to multiple people. In order to learn how Mass Payments works, how to prepare a file and send it, click on the Send Money tab. First, you will have had to call PayPal and ask them to enable this feature. Then click on Make a Mass Payment. You can also allow another user on your account to do this, such as a bookkeeper, if you have multi-user access set up. Now, you can send up to 5,000 payments at once, and there's two ways to submit your mass payment. One, you can upload a file, which I'm going to show you. Two, if you have a programmer or you're a programmer yourself, you can use the application programming interface, which is available through PayPal. I'm just going to show you a simple way to create a text file and upload it to the system. To learn how to make these files, click on this link right here. There is a guide here in PDF format that you can click on to learn more about mass payments. Rather than reading through a 40-page manual, let me show you a couple simple ways to make mass payments. If you want to learn about the process of making the file, you can go ahead and create it using Notepad or Excel, and I'll show you samples of both. You have to have enough money in your PayPal account to cover the cost of the mass payments you'll be sending, and you can't use a debit or credit card or a checking account to fund those payments. The money must already be in your account. In the next section, it explains the cost of sending mass payments. For domestic and international, it's 2% to send a mass payment. For domestic, it's no more than $1 total cost. And for international payments, it will vary depending upon the currency. Let's go back up and take a look at how to create a payment file. In this section, we can see the different columns that you'll need to have in your file. If you scroll through these instructions, you'll see that you have different columns for different aspects of the mass payment. The first being the email address of the person receiving the payment, then the dollar amount of the payment, and then the type of currency. In this case, we'll be using US dollars. You must hold that currency in order to send it. In other words, if you have a US dollar balance, you'll have to use US dollars to send the mass payment. In the fourth column, you have an optional reference account number or reference number that you can use to track your payment. And in the last column, you have a note that will be seen by the person receiving that payment. The last two columns are totally optional. You don't have to use them. Now, I'm going to go to the desktop here, and I'm going to open up my exercise files to show you how the mass payment file works. I've created two mass payment examples. One is using Excel. Since Excel is a very popular program, a lot of folks will be using that to make their mass payment file. You can create the columns here, and then once you're done creating the file, you can go ahead and click on this logo here and then Save As, and then change the file type to comma-separated values. You can also use tab-delimited files. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and save this mass payments file, and then it'll be ready to use. When I close Excel, I'll see that there is a file here in comma-separated values file that can be used for mass payment. Also, here is an example of a file that I created in Notepad. In Notepad, I typed in the information and I used the tab key to separate the fields. You have to use a tab in order to separate the different fields when you're using Notepad. This is an easy way to make a file if you don't have Excel installed on your computer. Once you're done making the columns and you save the file, you can then upload it into the PayPal system and send the mass payment. We're going to go ahead and do that now. In order to send the file, I'll need to upload the file, which I'll do by clicking here, and then I'll go to my desktop and go into my exercise files, and then select the file that I'm going to use for mass payments, and then click Open. Then in the next section, I need to indicate to PayPal the method that I'll be using for associating the payment to the recipient, which is either email address, phone number, or PayPal customer ID if you know it. I'm going to use the easy way, which is the email address, and then I'm going to put a subject line here. Now, once you've done that, you can click the Review option, and the file will be uploaded. In the next screen, you'll see a list of all the mass payments that are being made to the individual email addresses. You'll see the total cost and fees that are associated with the mass payment. You have the option to make changes or go ahead and submit the payment. Each of these recipients will receive the amount you've indicated in your file. I can't imagine every possible reason you'd want to make a mass payment, but a couple good examples might be making commission payments to salespeople or possibly paying vendors for invoices. In both cases, the recipient does have to have a PayPal account. This is a convenient and fast way to make multiple payments at once.